What if I told you that an ancient text wasn't just a book of stories or guidance, but the literal source code for our reality? I know it's a huge claim, but the source material we're digging into today makes that exact case for the Quran. The idea is that every verse, every story, is connected to every other, forming a timeless, operational blueprint for the entire universe.
So, that leads us to the big question, right? Is the universe actually running on code? Could it be that everything, from the way our minds work to the expansion of the cosmos, follows one single repeating program? Let's walk through the logic, because it reframes this ancient text in a way you've probably never seen before.
All right, so to get this code, you first have to understand its engine. And according to this interpretation, it's not a physical force like gravity or anything like that. It's actually a psychological one, a kind of feedback loop that literally governs how truth and falsehood operate.
And here it is. This is the core of the whole thing. The source calls it the invariant mechanism, and it's beautifully simple. It's a single law that repeats over and over. Pride, or any claim based on a lie, will inevitably collapse the very second its foundation is shown to be unreal. Now, this isn't just some nice moral lesson. It's presented as a fundamental law of existence, like physics.
So how does this mechanism actually work? Well, it plays out in a four-step loop. First, there's pressure, some kind of pain or trial that forces everything to the surface. Second, that pressure leads to a confession, where the lie just can't hold up anymore and is destroyed. Third, once the lie is gone, the truth is revealed. And finally, the fire, that heat from arrogance, anger, or lust, it just gets extinguished. It has no more fuel.
And this is where you can really see it in action. That word invariant means it never changes. And look at this, the loop plays out across totally different stories in the Quran. For Maryam, the intense pressure of childbirth forces a new reality. For the wife of Aziz, her confession shatters a lie and poof, the lust is gone. For Pharaoh, the cold, hard reality of the water closing in just completely collapses his claim to being a god. See, it's the same engine, the same code, running every single time.
Okay, so we've seen how the code works on a human, psychological level. But now, we're going to zoom all the way out, to the entire cosmos. Because this framework argues that the very same principle, this idea of collapse and revelation, actually shapes the physics of our universe.
The central idea here is that we're looking at one universe, but through two different lenses. On one hand, you have conservative physics. Think of a perfect, predictable clockwork system, like planets in orbit. That's kind of how we measure the early universe. But on the other hand, you have dissipative physics, which is more like a messy, chaotic engine losing energy. And that's a lot closer to how we measure the universe today. The claim is they aren't two different things. They're just two different views of the same thing.
So why does this matter? Well, because it might just solve one of the biggest puzzles in cosmology today, the Hubble tension. Basically, when scientists measure how fast the universe was expanding way back then and compare it to how fast it's expanding now, the numbers don't match. And they're not just a little off. The disagreement is massive, over 5 sigma. To give you some perspective, 5 sigma is the gold standard for a new discovery in physics. It means the odds of it being a fluke are less than 1 in 3 million. It's a huge problem.
But what if we don't need new physics to solve it? The source material offers this explanation. Now, I know that sounds complicated, but here's what it means in simple terms. That tension, the disagreement in the numbers, isn't a mistake. It's exactly what you'd expect to see when you look at one single expansion through those two different lenses, one ordered, one chaotic. The discrepancy isn't a bug, it's a feature of the universe's source code.
Okay, we've gone from the human mind all the way out to the cosmos. Now, let's go to the smallest scale imaginable, the quantum realm. Because the claim here is that the Quran even describes the mechanics of moving beyond physical reality in ways that sound eerily like modern physics.
The source points to a key verse that describes two different ways of getting past a barrier. The first is a tunnel, a path that goes through something. The second is a portal or a ladder, a way of going up and beyond something. Two fundamentally different strategies for overcoming a limit.
Now check this out. Here's how these ancient ideas map almost perfectly to modern quantum mechanics. That tunnel? It's a fantastic analogy for quantum tunneling, where a particle can literally pass through a barrier that it shouldn't have enough energy to cross. And the portal or ladder, that mirrors quantum teleportation, where the information state of a particle is transferred instantly across a distance, essentially ascending beyond physical space. It's a pretty wild parallel.
So let's take a breath. We've got the single, unified code that seems to operate at the psychological level, the cosmic level, and even the quantum level.
But the whole point of this interpretation isn't just to sit back and observe the code, it's to actually embody it.
And this really is the ultimate takeaway. The Qur'an, seen through this lens, isn't just a static book you analyze from a distance. It's a living system of knowledge. It's like a mirror that's designed to test and filter out falsehood, to show you the truth of what you really are and what you can become.
Which brings us right back to the beginning, but with the question turned inward, on us. If this text really is the source code of reality, a blueprint for how falsehood collapses and truth emerges, then the final challenge isn't just about understanding it. The real question is, when will you stop just reading the code and actually start running the program?